We are here and ready to play.
I'd really like to understand the interaction between alignment, allowing, and inspired action.
We feel that you understand this much more deeply than you give yourself credit for. So we will turn the question back to you. What do you think the relationship is between the three?
I would say that alignment is being in full integrity with yourself. That allowing is, I guess, in the human form, it's the process of removing the blocks to staying in that alignment. And the inspired action one gets me because it feels like an externally driven thing.
Inspired action is the result of alignment and allowing combined. It is not that you are inspired because someone is coming into your energy field and installing an idea. You are inspired because you are feeling resonance and you are in a place of allowing. And so wonderful, magical ideas that can come to fruition in your world come to you in that place. But it is when you are not so much in a place of allowing and you are attempting to use the mind in order to generate a feeling of faux aligned action or faux inspired action, that it can get somewhat confusing. In order to be able to differentiate between actual inspired action and the attempt to manufacture inspiration for the action that you are choosing to take, it is really helpful to become really conscious, slow, aware of how your guidance speaks to you. And we understand that this is something that you have been developing over time and you have developed quite well in this area. And for that, we wish to congratulate you and give you our love. We also understand that you understand that there is more that is available to you, and the knowing can happen much more quickly and more flowing when you are in that state of allowing. It is sometimes difficult when you have felt like you have to earn the things and push to create the things to disentangle the faux inspired action versus the actual inspired action. And this is the realm in which you are playing now. We wish to guide you in this form. Your feeling will help you know if something is an inspired action, if something is an inspiration that you then choose to act with. It feels light, it feels bubbly, it feels joyous, it feels expansive. If there is any element of heaviness or any element of pushing, that is when you are attempting to create or manufacture the feeling of inspiration to go with the action that you feel that you should take. There is a big difference, even though it may appear subtle.
Sometimes um, it's hard to recognize whether my attention is better served looking at I'm where I'm not allowing versus is it not the right action? And I feel it's I almost get into a spin of, maybe it's the allowing, maybe it's the action, maybe it's the allowing, maybe it's the action, and it's difficult to know where to focus on.
The reason for that spin is because you are still falling under the illusion that one action is right and the other ones are not right. They are wrong. That is not the way your life is designed to unfold. You are constantly in a phase of recalibration and recalibration and recalibration and recalibration and recalibration and recalibration. And that is why you cannot get it wrong. We would invite you to change the question rather than let us start somewhere else. Because the word aligned and alignment has become associated for you presently with right, we wish to invite you to play with a different sense, a different feeling, a different experience, and have that be symbolized by different language in order to anchor into a much more relaxed play with this kind of energy. So we would invite you to consider, rather than, is this aligned right now? Does this feel light? Does this feel expansive? What happens for you when we suggest that?
Uh, it it brings up the times when something doesn't feel light, unless, well, it might not feel light, but then when I'm in the habit of it, it feels fantastic. So a small level example is that when I do my yoga every day, it feels fantastic. When I take a break and then I try and start again, it feels awful until I'm in the habit again. And so it's that differentiating between something that will feel good versus something that never going to feel good.
You make an excellent point, and there is a really valuable distinction to be made between those two kinds of light versus heavy. As you get to know your inner language and how you are deeply calibrated, you begin to know when you are, we will say, hoodwinking yourself. There are times when you are out of practice of yoga, you have a sense of resistance because you feel a stagnation of the energy because it hasn't been in flow. And it sometimes does require a level of encouraging yourself to begin it, and then you are very grateful and glad that you did. If you consider the moment before you decide to go and do the yoga, when you're considering whether I will do the yoga or whether I will not do the yoga, if you get really quiet and really attentive and really interested and really clear with yourself, we guarantee you that you are able to differentiate experientially and energetically between the times where this thing is actually not for my highest good, or I have a slight block to doing this, but I can feel that ultimately it will be for my highest benefit. But it does require a level of being in that space of quiet, communing with yourself and developing the skill set of discerning what is actually going on for you that will allow you to make those more subtle and more subtle and more subtle distinctions. And as you become much more able to read your inner language, the language of your intuition, your guidance, and your inner knowing, the amount of flow that you're able to create for yourself in your life is going to feel so magical and so miraculous to you. But the underlying energy of that is allowing. It's allowing yourself to not want to do yoga in that moment and being inquisitive as to the why. If you just try and push through, you are disconnecting from aspects of you and silencing them, and you won't be able to decipher what is really behind them, what is really through them. Whereas if you become curious with yourself and go, okay, so why is it that I don't feel like doing yoga in this moment? And then be with those parts of yourself that are coming up with that sense of block and resistance. And we want to remind you of this. This does not need to take a lot of time. So we are not expecting you to now allocate a lot of time into your diary to really dive in deeply and discover within yourself before you make any decision or take any action. The more you play with this, the more you take away the pressure to get it right, the easier it's going to be for you to really just get a sense and a feeling. And that can happen instantaneously. It can happen in fractions of seconds. It can happen in seconds. But there is no rush to this. And counterintuitively, perhaps to you, the more you're okay with it taking time, the quicker the process will become.
I think that's a big thing for me at the moment is when I feel urgent and wanting to rush, I think it's my alignment telling me the reason you need to hurry is because you're out of alignment. And I guess it's
we are going to interrupt you. It is not the reason that you need to hurry is because you are out of alignment, except it is in this. If you are feeling that you have to rush and you need to hurry, you are automatically out of alignment. But it is not your wisdom pushing you to do it faster. It is your wisdom letting you know that in the discomfort of not being comfortable being where you are and telling yourself that the time frame is this and you need to push, you are being told within the boundary of your own knowing that you are out of alignment. But it's not that you need to push to overcome the lack of alignment. It is that the need to push lets you know that alignment is available to you, but not yet your fully lived experience in that moment.
Yeah, I'm starting to recognize that. I guess it's the hunger to find it's almost like I'm trying to find the places I'm out of alignment because it feels so much better when I am. It's like
we will interrupt you to say this. We understand the logic of what you are saying and we understand why your mind thinks that way. But if you really were focused on how amazing alignment feels rather than focusing on digging up all the blocks, if that was your real focus, the deliciousness of alignment, you could access that by remembering the times that you were aligned. And as you do the two-sided process that Maida speaks about often, which is clearing the crap and building the awesome, it is like the two wings of a bird. If your focus is always on clearing the blocks, you are flying with one wing and you will go around in circles. If your process is only to build the awesome, you will be avoiding the blocks and you will go around in circles. But we invite you to play with a balanced approach that encompasses both of them. We feel in your energy field that as your mind is so wonderful in solving problems, it is a problem-solving machine, it tends to focus on the area of problems. But if you were to give as much credence, as much energy, as much attention, as much intention to the building of the awesome, and remembering the times where you were in exceptional alignment and created amazing things with minimal amounts of pushing, you would be then flying with both wings, and your ability to soar, to be carried by the wind will surprise you, but it is available to you. And not only is it available to you, it is what is natural to you.
I have a lot of fear coming up about times in the past where I have told myself that I am enjoying the awesome, but actually it was distracting from the problems that were building up and starting to get worse. And so I have a lot of fear coming up about relaxing into the joy and the awesome, that might become almost like a numbing from, what's calling me.
This is a question of self-trust. You have a lot of evidence that you can trust yourself, and you have a lot of evidence that you can't. And again, because your mind is a problem-solving machine, it focuses on the problems, wishing to rectify them in order to achieve the alignment that you so deeply crave. You have been on a journey of personal evolution for a while now. And sometimes, and this is true for many humans, sometimes your self-perception does not match your reality, it matches your past. You know that you are getting much better at hearing the whispers of your own soul. And you still conceive of yourself as the person who didn't listen to the whispers of her soul in the past because she wasn't as equipped as she is now. The primary, we will use your words, block to this, to the experience that you want of trusting yourself and flowing and having aligned action, inspired action, balanced by, carried by, funded by, using the foundation of allowing. The primary block is this. You deeply believe that something is right, that there is a path, there is a thing that you have to do, and it is up to you to discover what that thing is and to do it in that way more than any other way. And the other ways are wrong. This is what is palpable in your energy field, and it is something you have carried for a long time. That isn't how it works, but it's how it feels like it works to you. And so there is a heaviness that you carry that makes it difficult for you to relax. It makes it difficult for you to trust yourself, and it makes it difficult to forgive yourself and your past mistakes because you fear that you will repeat them. It is okay if sometimes you need to numb out. It is okay if sometimes you need to take a break. It is in fact ideal for you to focus on things that are playful and light and different than your work, both your professional work and your personal development work. The times when you have a break, the times when you rest are equally as important as the times that you do your work. Think of them also as the two wings of a bird. If all you're doing is focusing on the ways that you need to improve, your underlying message to yourself is that you are not okay or enough as you are. That could not be further from the truth. You are not here to prove anything. You are not here to decipher the one and only path, and you are not here to make things happen. You are here to follow your inspiration, to allow the inspiration to come and to follow the good feeling into the alignment. And none of that is achieved by rejecting the parts of you that have made mistakes in the past, or that you conceive of as having made mistakes in the past. And none of that can reach the levels of delight and bubbly, heart-centered joy that you deeply seek. You have not deeply allowed yourself to relax and let go for a while because it has not felt safe for you to do so. You have trusted your own effort and your feeling that you have to do the things, and therefore you will work very hard and you will focus and you will prove yourself and you will make the things happen. Much of this has been cleaned up in your energy field, but some of it still remains, and you are going deeper with it. And that is valuable and important. But if all you do is bring the attitude of fixing the problem, you will stay stuck in the problem, because that beautiful one is what you conceive of as the problem, if there was such a thing as a problem. That heaviness can be transformed and it can become light. And when that happens, you will find yourself in allowing, you will find yourself in alignment, and you will find yourself in inspiration without needing to make it happen. The space of allowing cannot be forced. The space of alignment cannot be pushed. And the state of inspiration cannot be mandated or created in a time frame that suits you. There is a softness to all of that you are learning to slowly relax into. Nothing that you have done so far in your entirety of your existence is wrong in the way that you conceive of it. And you cannot do anything in the future that is wrong in the way that you conceive of it. You are a beautiful, divine being of light in a human body, wandering through the earth, being moved by the impulses that are aligned to you without you having to even define them as aligned. You are calibrated with an inner knowing, a sense that calls you forward. And as you learn to relax, you will naturally allow. There is nothing that you have to do. There is nothing that you need to achieve. But if you wish to fulfill what you consider your mission in the most profound way, walk through the doorway of relaxation. Walk through the doorway of less is more. Walk through the doorway of I am enough, and I am here to have fun, and I deserve the good things. And the more amazingly I love and adore myself and give myself the permission to be me, to receive and to follow my own impulses, the more lightness that I bring into this world. We know that you are here for a big purpose. We wish to recalibrate the meaning of that purpose. It is joy, and we say that because of this. When you are in a state of joy, you are automatically in a state of alignment. You are automatically in a state of allowing, and you are automatically in a state of inspiration. Follow your joy. Follow your joy. Follow your joy and watch the impact that you have in the world when you come from that place. And watch also that as you learn to relax and as you learn to let go of the shoulds, the shoulds, the musts, the I need to, the I have to achieve, as you let go of them, you will become lighter and lighter. And the brilliance of your ideas, the ones that are inspired by your alignment and your allowing, will have the capacity of having the deep impact that you wish. The path to that is joy. So again, we'd remind you, ask, does this feel heavy? Does this feel light? And as you learn to decipher the language of your inner self, you will know when you need to recalibrate or when that action is not for your own highest good. And we remind you to prioritize your own highest good, because the universe never guides you to something that is for your benefit and not everybody else's. You do not need to do the calculation. You do not need to calibrate what will benefit them. Your wisdom comes in the form of, does this feel light to me? Does this feel good to me? And as you clear up the shoulds, the musts, and the have tos, you will hear it much more. You will hear it even if it's quiet. That is a skill that you are developing and you're doing very well with it. There is nothing wrong here. There is nothing wrong here. There is nothing wrong here. We love you. We love you. We love you. Go well. Oh, there's a funny pop-up on my screen when I open my eyes. That went gentle and deep, didn't it?
Yes.